Hello everyone, my name is Vivek Srivastav. I am working as a assistant professor in Computer Science and Engineering Department in ABES Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today, I am here to deliver a lecture on control flow system, that is selection and decision control statements used in Python programming languages. So, before going in the deep discussion in this lecture, I believe you have already covered the core essentials of Python like identifier, variables, expressions, and operators. In this sequence, we will learn how to control the flow of the execution of a code developed for the given problem. Let me explain by taking a real life example. Suppose you want to wear a raincoat. So this particular um, choice is based on the given is totally based on the forecast, weather forecast. Suppose you are going to drink a hot coffee or not. So this particular problem or this particular decision will be based on the given situation. Similarly, in our programming, particular block of a code will execute or not. It will depend on the given condition, like selection and decision control statement. Decision control statements used to control the flow of execution of program depending upon the condition. If the given condition is true, then the code block will execute, and if the given condition is false, then the code block will not execute simply. Suppose here we want to print the report card of any student based on the given conditions. If the marks obtained is given of the student is above 90%, then it will be considered as excellent. Similarly, if the marks is greater than 80 and less than 95, it will be considered as good, and so on. So if we want to write the code for the given problem, the given statement, then we need some control statements to write in our program. Now, if we want to write this particular process into the code, then we have to know about the flow chart, how the flow of the program is behaving. The above mentioned example has been represented in flow chart in the below diagram to show the conditional expression. Here in this diagram, the block which is represented as diamond will show the condition. So after start, if you provide the input marks will be put in the given condition, marks is greater than 95 or not, like this. If the given marks is greater than 95, this condition is true, then it will be considered as excellent. If this condition is failed, that is false, then we will check another condition, which is marks is greater than 80 and less than 95. Similarly, this flow chart will work and we will code accordingly. Now, what are the selection decision control statements? So in Python programming languages, we have four types of control statements. Number one, simple if statement. Number two, if else statement. Number three, if elif statement. And number four, nested if else statement. I will take the example, the syntax flowchart of each statement one by one. So let's start with simple if statement. Simple if statement evaluates whether a condition is true or false. It will simply check whether the given condition is true or false. The block of statement code will execute it if and only if the specified condition is true. It is very simple. If we see the flow chart, the if condition expression is evaluated in the diamond block. If the given condition is true, then the next statement will execute statement 1, statement 2 up to statement n will be executed in serial. If the given condition is false, then statement 1, 2 up to n will not be executed. We will simply move from given condition to statement nth plus 1 as shown in the flow chart. So statement 1 to statement n, these are the statements in the body of if, and the statement nth plus 1 is the statement after body of if. Okay, and after executing the program, we will start the execution. Now, see the syntax of the simple if. How will you write in the program? If you use Python programming language, then you have to write the simple if statement like this. You have to put if, this is a keyword, Then angle bracket. In angle bracket, you have to write the conditional expression which you want to evaluate. And after closing the angle bracket, you have to put a colon at the end of the line. It is required. If you will not put this colon, that it will produce an error. So make sure while writing the if statement, write accordingly. So if is a keyword conditional statement, mention the condition to be checked, return true or false. Whether the condition is true or false, it will be checked here. And be very careful about indentation, because if you are using the if statement, then the statement one, just like written here, statement 1, 2 are the indentation with proper indentation, and statement n. So these are in a aligned in a single indentation, and statement nth plus 1 is written just below the if. If you see, here is a line if and statement. So if is written, statement nth plus 1 is written just below the e if condition, so it will not be considered as the part of this block. As we use curly braces in C language, if you remember, in C language, if you want to write a block of code, then you write you put a simply curly braces, and uh, the curly braces, or and all the statements followed in the conditional statement will lie in the group curly braces. But in Python programming language, same manner we use colon, and the indentation is Python as shown in the figure. I think it is clear to you. Let me take an example to show how it is working. Simple if statement. Suppose you want to print whether a given number is even or not. Even or not. If you want to check if a number is even, then simply you can divide it by 2, and if you get a remainder as 0, then it will be considered as even. So here we are taken n is equal to 10 as a number, and we are putting in the condition if n modulo 2 is equal to 0. That means we are here comparing the resultant n modulo 2 with 0. If it is 0, then the condition will tell the given number is even, or here we are not using else, so it will only check the given condition is true. Okay, let's take another example. You have to write a program to increment a number if it is positive. Suppose you want to put a condition, that the given number is positive, then that number should be greater than 0. So here we have taken a number x is equal to 10 initialization. Then with the help of condition, we are checking whether the number is greater than 0, strictly greater than 0. So this number is 0, greater than 0, then the particular value will be incremented. Simply we can solve a lot of problems using the if statement. I think it is clear to you. Now if else statement. The in if control statement, we have one condition, and if the condition is true, then the block of code will be executed. But what about the else part? There is no code execution in case of condition failure, as we have shown earlier. If we have two block of code and we have to decide whether which block of code to be executed on the basis of conditional expression as shown in the figure. Suppose my condition is false, then what will happen? So if else, if we consider this particular problem in if else statement, if my condition is false, then we will execute another block of code. Okay, if the given condition is true, like in the flow chart, you can see in the flow chart, if the given condition is true, the statement 1, 2, and statement nth will be executed, because this belongs to the body of if. If the given condition is false, then statement set of else block will be executed. Similarly, it will work like if block was working. Now, take here an example. Write a program to print excellent if the marks is greater than 95, otherwise print good. If the marks is greater than 95, you have to print excellent. And if the marks is greater than 95 is false, then you have to print good. So here we have taken marks as a variable, which will use int. Mark will be considered as an integer, and with the help of input function, we will get the value of percentage. Here we will evaluate the marks is greater than 95. If is a keyword, marks is the conditional statement, 95 is the condition, and colon followed by colon as I have told earlier. If the given condition is true, we will print excellent, else it will be printed as good. I think, are you getting my point? Now, if elif statement. If elif statement is an extension of the if else statement. It is also very powerful tool or in Python programming language. When we have multiple conditional statement, then we use if elif statement. Suppose there are a lot of condition and I have to check about every condition. Then I will use if elif statement. So this is the syntax of if elif statement. You have to write if condition expression and colon at the end of the line is required. Then body of if the particular if condition is false, then we will check the another condition with the keyword elif and we will evaluate the condition. If the condition is true, then it will execute the first elif. If the condition is false, then it will check another elif, and similarly it will do it can check a lot of even conditions. So this is the flow chart. The conditional expression of if else are executed from top to bottom in a sequential manner, and elif statement are known as elif ladder also. In examination, they may ask, tell the syntax of tell the or draw the flow chart of elif ladder. Then you have to write the same answer. This is the flow chart of the elif ladder. Conditional expression 1 is evaluating. If it is true, statement 1 will be executed. If it is false, conditional expression 2 will be evaluated. If it is true, statement 2 will be executed, and so on. I think it is clear to you. Now, you have to write a program to print grade of students according to the following condition. Excellent, that is marks obtained above 95%. Good, marks obtained greater than 80 and less than or equal to 95. Average, marks obtained greater than 60 and less than 80. And below average, marks obtained less than 60%. So there are a lot of conditions in the program. Then if elif statement will be a good choice by writing this type of code. Now let's have a look on the code. Example, write a program to print grade of students according to following conditions, which I have told earlier. First of all, we will take marks as a input from the user. If marks is greater than 95, then we will print excellent. If this condition is fail, first condition is fail, then we will move forward to the next condition and we will check whether the mark is greater than 80 and less than or equal to 95. Then we will print good, and so on. Okay, so I think it is clear what is the importance of if elif statement to you. Now, nested if else statement. When an if else statement is present inside the body of another if or else statement, then it is called as nested if else statement. Suppose there is a condition written in if statement, and this condition is true, but after entering in the condition, you have to check another condition. If this is true, then if else, like this type of statement. As you can see in the syntax, if conditional expression 1 is true, then we will move in the body of the if statement, and in the body of if statement we have another if statement and else statement, simply as we have used earlier. This is called nested if else statement. This is the flow chart of nested if else statement. When an if else statement is present inside the body of another if or else, then it is called as nested if else. This is the flow chart. Here, after processing with the start, conditional expression 1 is evaluated. If this condition is true, conditional statement 2 will be executed, and here we will evaluate the conditional expression 2. If this condition is true, then we will execute statement 2. If this condition is false, then we will execute statement 3. Similarly, if conditional expression 1 was false, then we have to check conditional statement expression 3, and the code will behave accordingly as I have told earlier. So here is a program of a nested if else statement. Suppose you have to write a program to take input as age of any user. and print you are less than 18 if age is less than 18, otherwise print you are above 18. You should also check that age could not be less than 0. So if then print a message age could not be less than 0. So in this program, I'm going to explain each and every step. So I believe you have got the problem statement, and now I will explain the code by considering each line. In first line, as you can see that age is considered, and age is entered by the user, and in if age will be evaluated against the condition that age should be greater than 0. If this condition is true, then we will talk about the code block of if this condition is false, then we will simply skip the if block and we will move forward toward else block. It is very simple. So let's talk about the, suppose we have a input like 20. So in the above example, for input value 20, the condition is greater than 0 will be considered as true because 20 is greater than 0. And it will enter in the if block. Are you getting my point? If it would have false, it would have entered into else block. As shown in the example, age is 20, which is true. It would enter into the if block where it again checks. After entering the if block, it will again check whether the age is less than or less than 18, which is false in our case. So else part would execute and the output will be you are above 18. So this program will simply execute by this scenario. I think this is clear to you, and the all the operations related to like let me revise the concept. Simple if else statement, if elif statement, and nested if else statement is clear to you, you can do a lot of programming. And I have already mentioned here some programs which is very important for your AKTU examination or any university examination where the Python programming subject is considered. These are some practice problems which you can practice, and I have divided the particular conditional statement into various categories. Number one, basic conditionals, like you have to check whether the number is even or odd, whether the number is positive, negative, or 0. And in nested conditional, that is part 2, write a program to check whether a number is divisible by 2 and 3, or only by 2 or only by 3. Leap year program. And in string comparison, we can check whether the two strings are equal or not. Python script to check whether a given string start with letter A or end with letter Z. In logical operators, we can put the logic in the program because we have already covered the logical operators in the previous lectures. In multiple conditions, we can also write the program like determine the type of triangle based on the value of 3 sides. And these are the important programs which can be asked in the university examination, like user input and validation, error handling, and conditions. You can note down all these programs because these programs are very useful for your university examination. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I believe this concept is clear to you. If you have any query, then you can ask to me by commenting on this video.